Hi everyone, it's Liam here from A Shot of Wildlife, and in today's video I've come to this mixed grazing pastures not too far from my house in search of green woodpeckers. Now I have seen a couple of them here before, but I didn't manage to catch them on film, so hopefully today I'm going to have better luck. If I don't see any, I'm going to film any other wildlife that I do see, and if you're seeing this video then it means that I'm going to see something. So I'll best get searching. The habitat here is mainly low grazed grass peppered with small shrubs and a few clusters of larger trees. It is used as an area for grazing horses, and there is also a large herd of around 20 mixed breed cattle that have free roam. Aside from the patches of bare ground made by the horses and cows, there are also hundreds, if not thousands, of ants' nests. Different species don't usually get along, and this orange ant has been overpowered and outnumbered by the darker ones. They will kill it, chop it into pieces and carry it beneath the ground to feed the colony. Amongst the shrubs I can see several different species of birds taking advantage of the invertebrates. This young blue tit is picking small insects and aphids from underneath the leaves. This young great tit seems to be trying to eat the fruit from a hawthorn berry. Through summer their diet is mainly insects, but they are opportunists, and eating them now will be good practice for the autumn when insects become scarce. Insects seem to be good enough for these long-tailed tits, for now at least. I even managed to catch a glimpse of a green finch far off in the trees. They have become rare in recent years, and there is now a national survey to track their numbers. I walk further into the field and realise that this habitat isn't just good for birds and invertebrates, there are mammals here too. I know for some people that rabbits are a common sight, but this is the first one that I have seen for ages. They too have been facing uncertainty over the past few years, with a new disease wiping through their population. This one has spotted me and froze still, hoping that I wouldn't see it. This is one of their strategies to avoid predators, but if I approach further it would no doubt bolt into the undergrowth or a nearby burrow. I left it be and found an invasive species under a nearby tree. So behind me, underneath this oak tree, is a plant. Now you may be thinking, Liam, you don't normally show us plants, come on, plants are boring. Well, for those of you who don't think plants are boring, I'm sorry, but for those of you who do, this is not just any ordinary plant. This is Himalayan Balsam. Himalayan Balsam is a beautiful plant that was introduced into UK gardens in the 1830s. However, it soon escaped from the gardens and into the countryside, where it has become one of our most damaging invasive species. This plant usually grows along riverbanks and waterways, but as it is so large, the largest annual plant in the country in fact, it smothers out our native species. In winter, when the plant dies back, it leaves the soil exposed without any vegetation and makes it very susceptible to erosion. It's a shame that this plant is such an invasive species, as native invertebrates, such as this common red soldier beetle, seem quite fond of it, and its explosive seed pods are edible and apparently very nice in curries. And speaking of edible, I'm getting eaten alive by the mosquitoes, so I'm going to get out of here. I pass by this nearly dried out pond and amongst the jungle of grass spot this female muntjac. Just like the rabbit, she had seen me and froze completely still, hoping that I wouldn't notice her. If you look just to the left of her eye, you can see one of her pheromone producing facial glands. She will rub these on branches, trees and rocks to pass on information to other muntjac that are in the area. Just as I was filming the muntjac, I heard a noise in this big tree here above me, and it turns out there's two green woodpeckers. Let's take a closer look. At first I only noticed the adult woodpecker with its black facial markings and cream cheeks, but then I spotted the younger bird nearby amongst some foliage. This is a teenager that has been out of the nest for a few weeks and is on his way to independence. The adult didn't seem keen on going close to the young bird, and I wonder if this because it could see me and wanted to keep the youngster hidden. It is pretty well camouflaged with its dull, stripy green feathers. Green woodpeckers are one of 3 native species and are the only one that is green in colour. They spend a lot of their time on the ground, and one of their main foods is ants, which might explain why this meadow is such a hot spot for them. When the adult finally approached the youngster, I realised that maybe I wasn't the reason it had been hesitant. The young bird seems to be trying to beg for food, but the adult flares its red crest as a warning. It's almost time for this teenager to find its own territory, and the adult bird looks keen to help it on its way. Well, there we go. We finally got to see the green woodpecker, and now I'm getting eaten alive by the mosquitoes, so I'm gonna head home. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you check out this one here where I discover some common garden birds, or this one here where I take an underwater look at some of the fish of the UK. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.